Yoo-hoo! It's the time for package from China. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the handheld game station. So when it comes to cheap devices from China, especially handhelds, oh boy, it's a jungle out there of different versions. And therefore I want to review them here on the channel. So consider subscribing, hit that little bell, and let's see what we're going to get in the inside. Back in the day when I started, let's say, collecting / reviewing these handhelds, oh boy, there were so many of them, and they didn't even came in a very nice fancy package what they're doing now. But I do like what they're doing over there, because it's just freaking hilarious. Enjoy high quality gaming experience. They're putting always stuff like that on a box, because for people just new to the scene, to the jungle of handhelds, it's most of the time a freaking lie. So here on the channel I just wanted to check out what are we going to get. Because, yep, I just want to see if it's any good before people are going to buy these things. Because some of them are really crappy. We're having four different colors. It's more like green, blue, yellow and the white edition. It is quite good quality cardboard. It's still very thin because it's a very cheap device and it's just a basic box. But let's take a close look. So here we're going to get the AV out cable. So let's check that out later on. And we're going to get a micro USB for the charging function. Here we're going to get the toilet paper manual like always. This is the deluxe edition. Yep, like the glossy one. And let's see, that's some basic explanation how it works, what you're going to get, and yada yada yada. Okay, let's take a close look at this device. So first of all, this thing let me remind of the Wedoit Pocket. That maybe you didn't see it before. Like this thing looks almost identical in some ways. But first thing is like we don't have this big gigantic screen. It's very tiny. And the question remains, of course, is it any good when it comes to the quality? We're also going to open it up. Over here we're going to get the on and off switch. We're going to get a volume control. Here we're going to get the micro USB, and then we're having here the option for a CF card. It comes with 4 GB. That is the AV out function. And of course the display. We got a D-pad. The D-pad itself feels kind of nice. Got this very nice profile on it for giving some more grip. Going to get a 6-button configuration, special fighting games. Oh boy, I love it. But there is no shoulder buttons, so that is a little bit of an epic feel. Select, start, and here we're going to get the home button. But let's power it on first without the SD card inside, and let's see what happens. The display itself is a 3.5 inch, and so far I know I don't know any information about the resolution, but I would not expect it would be high. It would be something like 640 by 480. Overall, it's not an IPS, an old school LCD, but in my opinion it's not really bad, because don't forget it's a really budget product. Oh, by the way, when you boot it up without an SD card, this is what you're going to get. So this means that the software itself, the firmware is somewhere on the main board itself, but when you don't add your SD card, or it's highly possible if this card gets corrupted, you're going to get a brick of a system because they have this special pre-configuration. We can get into the menu, normal, power settings, stuff like that. You can just change it out, nothing really fancy. Here you can see like it's for power consumption, that it saves some power, that's it. There's nothing really special over here. Let's go back to the main menu. Let's check normal settings, language, product information, let's check that. Of course it shows that there is no internal memory, so this means there is no memory whatsoever on this device, or that is going to get recognized. Factory default, and here we can choose if we want to choose the LCD or the signal output. Okay, so let's put the SD back in. Okay, so let's power it on with the SD card inside, and let's see. We're going to get the Street Fighter 5 decal. There is always something they need to rip off. And I have seen this menu before. So this menu, for the people I don't know, is similar to like the game box and other devices I've reviewed here on the channel. So when powering on, that's what you're going to get. We're going to get the thumbnails over here. By the way, you cannot change them out, and if the files get corrupted behind it, you're just done. You have a problem. You cannot use it anymore or change it out. We have a compatibility with NES, GBA, Mega Drive, Super Famicom, and of course MAME. And the settings over here that I already have seen before. And there we're going to get the battery indication, how much juice we still have inside. So when we're pressing the home button, when we're in the game, you can have the option to make a quick load, quick save. We have seen this before with cheap handhelds, and it's really cool that they keep continuing using this. There is no of configuring any buttons, so it's very limited, no aspect ratio whatsoever or other settings. The audio itself is not very loud. Okay, so we could stop pressing the freaking wrong button. So let's start with some NES. Let's see how this runs the games. Okay, so the button configuration is completely messed up. The B is the start, which seems to be like kind of weird. The D-pad is quite responsive. I do like the extra touch that you have better control over it. But it seems to be that the games are running just fine when it comes to the NES part. I must say, if they keep messing that up, even now, that would be like quite sad. Come on, well, let's whip him with the stick. Alright, so let's check this game out. Let's see how it runs. But I can already hear that it doesn't run the correct speed. That sounds really messed up. Well, I just need to search my buttons. The configuration is all messed up. Alright, well, let's see if we can play. Alright, there's the analog stick. Oh boy, I can really see that. Oh man, it sounds not like it should be, and it runs really choppy. Sound effects are here. Okay, let's move to the D-pad. So, I think it's still playable, but this is not the way how it should be in my opinion. I must say that the gameplay is not that bad. There's always something they mess up, but this? Alright, let's try the analog stick now. Let's see how it runs. How it drives. Okay, so next up, Super Nintendo. And I can say that it runs really horrible. You can hear it in the sound. And with this gameplay, it sometimes just slows down. I don't know why it is, but with the Super NES, this is always like a mixed bag. Sometimes you get quite good performance, and then out of nothing, you're going to get a lot of drops. But if you can live with it, that is what you're going to get with cheap devices like these.
Help me to find it.
Yes, I will.
It might be dangerous.
Sounds exciting. Ooh, me love some gold.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, so next up we're going to play some MAME. I think it's really cool to play MAME games on a cheap device. And sometimes you're going to get some, let's say, okay performance. It's like the basic games that you can play. And they sometimes mess it up with emulation, but now it seems to be sounding pretty good. I'm shooting games, now I'm happy that I'm having like an analog stick, because it plays way better than the D-pad. I need to point out that the D-pad, I tried some fighting games, they are feeling quite good and the response is okay. But most of the time like a big problem with these cheap devices and their D-pads, that it doesn't work that well. The device itself works plug and play. What I've already shown you in the video, you need to go to the settings and change out the signal output. Depends what kind of television you're using. Yeah, the weird thing is like, I don't have any wallpaper now, and still my audio is working on my handheld. So I'm going to get double audio, it's more like an echo. Very annoying. But let's try some games out and let's see how it runs on the television with the old school AV out. Time for some beefcake and dinos, people. Beefcake, beefcake, beefcake. Ooh, it runs really choppy. Turbo mode. Slap him on the ground. Give him a hand bump. Ooh, that's the beefcake way. You know how the song goes. Beefcake man is here. It's gonna whoop your ass tonight. Okay, so let's try the game on the big television. Of course, the signal output is old school, so it doesn't look that great. but seems to be working just fine. Okay guys, so what do I think of the handheld game station? So in overall, it's one of the many handhelds I've reviewed here on the channel, especially when it comes to the cheap ones. And they are using, better said, reusing the same kind of firmware. I don't know if it's Linux based or something like that. It's kind of weird, but emulators, you cannot change anything out. The D-pad itself, it's okay. It has a very nice touch, a little bit too much of a grip, like this very hard, that's a weird profile on the D-pad. That analog stick feels cheap, similar like a PlayStation 2 portable one. But then overall, when you're looking at these devices, it's like a mixed bag always. They are like cheap, but when you're going to pay a lot of money for them, then they make themselves obsolete because there are so many better options out there that comes with better kind of firmware. So let me know in the comments what you think of this. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.